Yes.
The ordinance from our lovely mayor.
Oh, that guy, get rid of him.
What do you call
I was like, look, I can't even know all my stuff.
what do you call a fake candle? An imposter.
Yes, Mr. President. Yes. Yep. Yep.
What are you doing, Shannon? How's everything? Good, good.
It's so funny because you printed everything that I printed.
Busy?
Yeah.
Excuse me, Mr. Chairman, I have a phone call.
Have an opportunity to. No,
2 minutes.
Work is crazy.
How's the kids been?
Doing okay.
How old are they now?
15 and 17. My daughter just got her driver's license on Monday.
Kids used to come.
Yeah, she
You
just got
ready?
her driver's license on Monday.
No?
Not a minute.
We can't start at 6:59.
Oh, 6:30.
Just paid $1,600.
It's true.
For her.
Oh my.
The official agenda is
Wait a
a half hour
minute, we're
late.
paying extra for
I apologize.
professional things.
He's never gonna let you live that.
I know.
That's 2 mistakes.
Oh, stop it. Leave her alone.
It's so embarrassing.
I have little power in this town.
Just a little.
Waiting for a new secretary yet.
You wanna make a motion?
Make a motion to get rid of the secretary. Do I hear a
You
second?
can't because it's not 7 o'clock yet. It's not started.
No, 6:30.
Oh my goodness.
6:59. Okay, it's 7. 7. Good evening. I'd like to call this meeting, this Township of Springfield Planning Board meeting to order April 12, 2018. Adequate notice has been given in accordance with the Sunshine Law. Notice was published on February 22nd, 2018 in the Star Ledger, which is the official newspaper for the Township of Springfield for 2018, and was posted on the Annex Building on February 16, 2018. Let's have a salute to the flag, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, welcome everyone. We have a quick roll call to the secretary. Secretary, please.
We have
Mayor Huber,
here.
Here at 6:30.
Someone overtime.
Mr. Barnett,
Here.
Mr. Schwartz is absent, Mr. Gonzalez is absent, Mr. Fernandez is absent, Ms. Sylviane Grisbowski,
Here.
Mr. David Pilmenstein is absent, Mr. Jeff Rosenberg,
Here.
Mr. Brian Brandell,
Here.
Vice Chairwoman Sharon Kessel,
Here.
and Chairman Jeff Tiger.
Here.
So we have a quorum.
Thank you. And for the record, since this meeting was moved to a different date and wasn't our normal date, everyone was given an excused absence for not making the meeting. And we'll applaud you for making it at 6:30, Mayor Huber. Can I have a motion to approve the March 2018 meeting minutes?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed? Anyone abstain?
Abstain.
Abstained, so 2 abstentions. Motion passes. Okay, we have a resolution on the agenda. This is for Temple Beth Am Yisrael, which was 60 Temple Drive, Block 506, Lot 5. They had a minor site plan for a splash pad. Our board secretary emailed around the ordinance. If you've had a chance to, the resolution, sorry. If anyone had a chance to review it and has any comments or concerns, if not, I'll entertain a motion to approve.
Mr. Motion, I'd like to make a motion for the approval of application or the resolution 3-2018S, Temple Beth Am Yisrael for minor site plan.
Can I have a
second.
Second it? Can we have a roll call?
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Ms. Grisbowski?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes.
And Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mr. Brandell?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay, and I signed it. Here we go. Okay, the next we have an application application 2-2018S. This is for Atlas Marble and Granite, 45 Fadham Road, Block 4201, Lot 6, for preliminary and final site plan for some variance relief, and there was outdoor storage. For the record, Sylvian missed the meeting. I'm in receipt of her certification that she listened to the application, so she'll be eligible to vote. I know the Vice Chairman didn't get a chance to, so she'll be ineligible to vote, but she can definitely stay up here. Council? So to summarize for the board, I think we heard testimony last time. The testimony on why the outside storage was appropriate or not. Since then, the board members had some concerns about the fire code, whether there was access to the site, if there was a fire in the back, could they get there? I know that Mr. Mardini, Mr. Disco, and counsel for the applicant went to the site. I just would like to hear from Mr. Mardini, unless you have anything, to kind of explain what that site went through, and we'll go from there.
No, I think David Trumber, by the way, for Atlas Marble, I think the summary that you gave is correct, and you do have reports, revised reports from Mr. Disco and also from your fire chief that appear to accept the plan as revised, and my client's already begun to implement it. But with that,
Yeah, and then I believe also there was additional paving that, filling in some stuff, but we'll
well,
let.
yes, yeah, I mean, the driveway's a bit beat up, so.
Yeah.
you know.
Okay, Mr. Mardini, if you mind just giving the board a quick update, so
Seb Mardini, 100 Mountain Avenue.
you swear to tell the truth?
I do.
Yeah, okay.
As stated, I immediately after the last planning board meeting, I set up a meeting on site with the applicant, his attorney, his planner, our board engineer, and the fire chief and the fire captain, and we went over the site, and we came up with a plan that was satisfactory to the chief and the fire department. And that plan included two parts. One is to eliminate all stored material next to the loading dock in the back of the building. And the other portion of the plan was to reduce the storage area and keep it away 50 feet from the building. And the fire department, based on our meeting, the applicant's planner and professional drafted revised plan, which we reviewed with the fire chief. He's satisfied with it. He wrote a letter to say that he's satisfied with it. And our board engineer reviewed the plan, and he's also satisfied with it. And I have no issues with it.
And so all the said, so this is the letter from the fire department, which
Yes.
I believe, which was dated August 3rd, where he is advised that, April 3rd, wow, I always do that, that the fire department has no further comments anymore.
Correct.
Okay, perfect. Mr. Disco, did you?
Have they moved this stuff, have they moved the marble out of the way yet?
I have not visited the site, so maybe I can ask the applicant.
That's what I know, you know.
Before you do, Mr. Disco, anything further to add to that site visit?
No, there was, and there was parking available at the time of the second visit that I went to, too, so.
All right.
Do you want to you were sworn in last time, do you want
You want me to swear him in again? or
Sure,
just
why not?
continue?
Let's just swear him in again.
Fine. Do you swear?
It's good
or affirm-
practice.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you. Would you just state your name, spell it, and give your address for the record?
Marco Duran, M-A-R-C-O, D-U-R-E-N, Atlas Marble and Granite, 44 Fadum Road, Springfield. And to answer your question, we're halfway complete with that task of removing that whole area of stone. So I explained to Sam exactly where we're moving it and condensing, and also sifting through and trying to create the space that is needed to do that. So 2 weeks to 3 weeks, it should be complete.
So we can say 30 days it'll be all complete, so we'll add that to.
Yeah.
You know, if you put stuff back in where it's not supposed to, they'll be checking on it,
Absolutely,
and then we'll come after you.
absolutely.
Okay, no problem.
Anything further, Counselor? No. Board, does the board have any, before you step down, does the board have anything more from the witness? Does the board have anything?
So,
Oh, go
you
ahead.
know, given the applicant's history of not keeping his word, I am concerned about what the mayor pointed out, in that we can have a program where we do go back and check. I'm happy to give you the benefit of the doubt at this point, but the next time I won't, and maybe have some teeth along with that as well, history being what it is.
I can respond. I will make sure our zoning officer is notified. He will put it on his schedule, so periodically he will go out and check it. And if there is a violation of this approval, then he will definitely issue a summons.
Thank you.
Anything further, Counselor? No. Does the board have any other questions on this application? Seeing none, I'm going to open this up to the public. Anyone on the public that wish to speak on application 2-2018S for Atlantis Marble and Granite, come forward at this time. Seeing no one wanting to speak on this application, I'm going to close it to the public portion and open up to the board for discussion. Any further discussion? Sure. Okay, so, so the idea was we would be approving this application with the, renewing all the variances that they had before, and then also granting additional variance relief for some outside storage, consistent with the plans that have been revised and approved by the fire chief, approved by, the municipal engineer, and,
Can we amend the original
No, what you're gonna do,
to remove that?
first you're gonna have a vote to
Approve the
application, and then we're gonna do a resolution which amends the previous resolution by vacating condition number 6 that was in the original resolution, and we'll, well, let's do the
Understood,
vote.
yeah, so let's
for
do a
it,
vote, then we'll
and
discuss this. So can I have a motion?
Yeah, Mr. Chairman, I'd like to make a motion to approve application 2-2018S, Atlas Marble and Granite, 44 Fadum Road, Block 4201, Lot 6, for preliminary and final site variance relief, outdoor storage, with the modifications of spot checking for,
And then we're also gonna add in that within 30 days from today, that the area will be in compliance.
Right.
Will be in compliance with
In
what, the
compliance.
agreement.
Correct.
Does anyone want to second that? Second. Can I have a roll call, please?
Who just seconded?
Mr. Brendel.
Oh, okay, thank you. Ms. Grzybowski?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Perfect. Okay, so the next order of business is we're going to adopt the resolution with the board's approval with what we just said for that application. The resolution was emailed out to the board in anticipation. What we've added to that resolution was in section 1, just saying within 30 days of the adoption of this resolution that they're going to take care of making in compliance with the plans, and I believe you're acceptable with that?
Yes.
Yes. Perfect. So the resolution was out there. Can I have a motion on the table to approve the resolution?
I give a motion to approve resolution,
The resolution, just reread what you just read.
reread it, application 2-2018S, Atlas Marble and Granite, 44 Fadum Road, Block 4201, Lot 6, for final site plan resolution,
And
variance relief, outdoor storage.
that's right.
With the amendment
Right.
that we
As
just,
amended.
with the addition of.
With the additional
30 days.
condition.
30 days modification.
Perfect. That was a tough one, but I get it. Can I have a second? Mr. Brendel, you want to do it again? Second, yeah. All right, good. Keep it things consistent.
Okay.
Roll call.
Ms. Grzybowski?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Mayor Huber?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Chairman Tiger?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Perfect. Okay, thank you, guys. I'll sign the resolution, and then she'll do what she needs to do.
Are you gonna sign it right now?
Yeah, I'll sign it right now.
Oh, it's still, it's gotta be, you've gotta have the additional clause in there. He'll sign it, so it's done, and then we'll.
I'm home tomorrow anyway. I'm in town tomorrow, so it's fine. Jen will take care of it. Jen will take care of it. Okay, so the next application is application 4-2018S, which is Baltusrol Golf Course, 2001 Shumpike Road, Lot 1605, Lot 1, for preliminary and final site plan for an exercise facility. For the board's edification, I am a 200-foot radius of Baltusrol Golf Course. My backyard borders it, so since I received a lovely notice, I'm going to recuse myself, and our lovely vice chair is going to take over and take that application. Once that application concludes, we're going to get a project update from Mr. Mardini, and then, perfect. I'm going to step down, but I'll be back.
All right.
Like Arnold's fingers, since I'll be back.
Good evening. My name is Russell Finestein, from Finestein and Malloy, and I represent Baltusrol Golf Club. We're seeking preliminary and final site plan approval to construct a fitness center for club members. To be brief, I have 3 witnesses. I have Kevin Vitale, who's the general manager and chief operating officer of the club. Richard Schomer is our engineer, and Carl Nickel is Jeff Rudding's office, who's our architect. I'm going to call Mr. Vitale up first.
Swear.
Yes.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Would you please state your name, spell it, and give us your business address for the record?
Sure. Kevin Vitale, last name Vitale, and the address of Baltusrol 201 Shumpike Road.
you.
Okay? Can you tell the board your position with the project?
General manager, chief operating officer.
And just tell the board the purpose of the project here?
The purpose of the project is to take the existing building, which is no longer used as a patio building. We put an addition on the pro shop 2 years ago, which houses the caddies now, and to take that space and make it a fitness facility. Currently, the fitness facility is in the lower level of the performance center, and just the success of it, we can see more space and better amenities, so that's part of the long-range plan.
Are there any additional parking demands as a result of this project?
No, in parking, we have over 340 parking spaces in the main lot, and we did get parking relief when we did the caddy parking, in the mountains, which took 110 cars out of the space.
I have no further questions. The board has questions for Mr. Vitale?
Do any members of the board have any questions? Should I? For this witness.
You want to do it per witness or wait?
You know what,
Thank you, Sam.
It may be,
do it
All at once?
it may be easier to do it afterwards.
Okay.
everything.
Okay, because none of the board members have any questions, you're excused
Mr.
for right
Vitale's
now?
not going anywhere.
No.
Yes.
And your,
Everybody stay.
your engineer? is-
Engineers next. Richard Schomer. Mr. Schomer's been, okay.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony that you're about to give in this matter will be the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth?
I do?
Would you please state your name, spell it, and give us your business address for the record?
Sure. Richard B. Schomer Jr., last name Schommer, business address 119 Cherry Hill Road, Parsippany, New Jersey.
Mr. Schomer has appeared before this board as an expert numerous times, at least a dozen just with me. I asked that he be accepted as an expert.
Accept his qualification.
Yes.
Great. Thank you.
Did you review your plans with the board?
Sure. I have on the easel a set of the plans that was submitted for this project, and I also have one plan that's a rendering, just so it's a little easier to see. So I'll mark that
Please.
A1.
A1, yes.
And before I flip to that, I'll just go to one of the sheets of the plans, which is the overall property plan, and what, just to orient you, Shunpike Road.
Mark that A2.
Well, that's part of the set.
Sheet 2 of 9.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm sorry, it is sheet 2 of 9. So this is the overall area map, and on the right-hand side is Shunpike Road. This just gives you an overall picture of the about 500 acres of the Baltusrol Golf Club site, and just to show you where the proposed fitness center is. It's right near the main entrance, the new main entrance. So if I turn back to what I marked as A1, Shunpike Road is on the right-hand side. At the top of the page, you can see the main entrance, the gatehouse where you come in, and then the road turns past the performance center that Mr. Vitale mentioned, and this is the location of the existing, what was the Caddy building and is now the fitness center. So basically we're taking a building down and putting a new building pretty much in the same place. The building is bigger and it's oriented slightly different, and because the building is longer and extends further would be to the south towards the bottom of the page, it occupies an area where there was some parking. The entrance into the site, of course, off of Shunpike, and then it comes in, and there's an entry right now that comes into a row of parking spaces. That general arrangement and circulation pattern is going to remain the same. We'll have a new driveway cutting in, but we do lose 8 parking spaces in this area. As you heard from Mr. Vitale, there's no additional demand for parking. This facility, this fitness center, is basically an extension of the performance center and the fitness center that was across, I'll call it across the street, but across the driveway. We're located about at the closest point from the building to Shunpike Road is about 117 feet. And in that area between us and Shunpike Road is a wooded area, so that acts as a good buffer to this building. Our architect will show you some elevations of the building, but this does act as a good buffer. One of the features in that wooded area is that there is a stream in that location. And so when we were doing this planning, we were aware and sensitive of the proximity to the stream. And basically where we are putting the new building is in an area that was previously disturbed. So we're taking a building out. This area was previously developed with building. There's a little patio. There was some parking, walkways, and so forth. So we're basically dealing in an area that was previously disturbed. The stream is at a much lower elevation. There's no flood hazard issues, no flooding issues associated with the stream, but the stream is regulated by DEP, and the regulations that would apply in this case are a riparian zone, a riparian buffer adjacent to the stream. We've indicated that on the plan as a 50-foot riparian zone around the stream, and part of our building and part of our site does fall within that. So we looked at the regulations for DEP, which we do deal with on a regular basis. And this would, because it's basically redevelopment and the activities we're doing are in areas that were previously disturbed and the disturbance is minimal and we're maintaining distances from the stream, this falls under what the DEP calls a permit by rule. And what that says is that if you follow these rules that the DEP lays down, you're permitted to do that activity. You don't have to file a formal application with DEP and get a response back. That's not necessary. If we were doing something grander or something that would affected a flood area, then it could require a DEP permit. But this is of a level that falls under what the DEP calls a permit by rule. There's a couple of different permit by rules that actually would apply here, and we noted that on the plan. And I'm going through that explanation because of the presence of the stream. I know Mr. Disco in his review memo identified those. We do conform with the criteria under the permit by rule regulations. The area of the building within the regulated area is less than 400 square feet. And really, the DEP regulated area is limited to where the riparian zone is. Once we get outside that riparian zone, we're outside DEP jurisdiction. The distance from the stream we will maintain as a minimum of 25 feet, and any disturbance to vegetation in this area will be limited. You can disturb vegetation within 20 feet of the building for construction of the building. So we will comply with that. So we do conform with the DEP criteria, so I just did want to mention, go through that discussion. This will result in a reduction in impervious coverage on the site. We noted that on the plan, and as a result of that reduction in impervious coverage, no additional stormwater management control measures are necessary. Having said that, we are going to tie the drainage system into the existing drainage system on the club property. As we have an underground infiltration system actually adjacent to the parking area, and we're going to extend that. That was installed as part of a prior approval, and we're going to extend that entire drainage into that. So we don't need any additional stormwater control measures, but we are going to certainly manage the runoff from the roof and from the site so that it doesn't create any problems. The parking spaces, we're continuing, as I said, there's a parking area just below the building. We are taking out some spaces. We're putting in a new driveway to access those, so we'll have that same one-way circulation. The parking space size, we're maintaining what's there, so it's really a continuation of what exists. I know technically it is a little less than the standard, but we're really going to maintain the existing parking system and layout. There will be a few trees removed right in the vicinity of the building, but we're going to minimize that. The footprint of disturbance is really kept to a minimum for the reasons that I mentioned with respect to the proximity to the stream. There's a very good buffer of evergreens along the driveway, and we're going to maintain that as much as possible. And we also have plantings at the building itself to make it an attractive entrance. I think there was a comment, I think, in your planner, Mr. Michael's report about adding a do not enter sign. So we maintain that one-way circulation, and that's fine. I think that covers most of the things. I know Mr. Disco and Mr. Michaels had review memos. We don't have any issues with any of the comments mentioned in those memos. We take no exception to anything. I did want to talk about the DEP part of it because Mr. Disco raised that.
There's a question about parking space size.
The parking space size, as I say, we're really maintaining the existing parking space size, which is, so we want to be consistent with that. We do have a new ADA accessible space that we're putting near the entrance for accessibility there.
There's also a question about lighting in the parking lot.
Yes, thank you. There, at the existing entrance to the driveway, there's a pole-mounted fixture. Actually, it has two fixtures on it, a pole-mounted lighting. We're going to relocate that down to the new island, so that'll provide, basically it'll function, the lighting will be very similar to what is there today. So we're going to relocate an existing pole-mounted structure near that entrance. There will be some building-mounted lights, and our architect will tell you what those are, but those are going to be basically residential level style type lighting for the entrance into the facility.
Where's that remounted light going to be?
I'm sorry, the pole-mounted light?
Yeah.
It's at this, where there's going to be an island right here to delineate the entrance in. We're going to have new curbing, extend the curbing around that area, so it'll be in that curbed island. It's shifting from this curbed island down to that curbed island. So the layout and general configuration is going to be very similar. And we're keeping the same light, so it'll be consistent. The lighting style, wattage, levels of illumination will be similar to what's there today.
There's also a question about getting soil conservation.
We do need Soil Conservation District approval because the disturbance is more than 5,000 square feet. That's fine. That's standard, so we will make an application to the Somerset Union Soil Conservation District. That's a requirement, yes.
I have no further questions.
This, the footprint that you're using, I guess, is less than the original footprint, right? You said there's less impervious.
Less impervious coverage. The building is bigger, but we're taking out parking spaces and there'll be green space around it. So although the building is bigger, the total impervious coverage on the site will be less.
What about the height of the building? Is that the same as the existing?
I'm going to let Carl address the height of the building because he has some elevations on that, so I'm going to defer that one if you don't mind.
I just want to to clarify, I see the arrow going in. You were talking about the continuous circle. Can you point out how the traffic flows?
Yes, it flows down. This is the entrance, and then it flows down if you... I don't think the rest of the plan shows it, but if you continue down that row of parking, it exits out. And that's the present circulation pattern, so we're maintaining that.
Thank you.
Yes.
Does anyone else have any comments? No. And our professionals, do you have any comments?
No, I spoke to Mr. Schumer to reconcile our differences, and I believe he indicated he would, meet all of the dimensional requirements of the permit.
Okay. Seeing no board members having any further questions, you're excused for now. Stick around then.
Great. Yes. Okay. Well done. Thank you.
I'm going to call Carl Nickel.
Do you swear or affirm that the testimony you're about to give in this matter is the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Please state your name, spell your name, and provide us your address for the record.
It's Carl with a K, Nickel, N-I-C-H-O-L. I work in FJ Rawning, AIA. We are located at 141 Morris Street, Morristown, New Jersey.
Mr. Nickel, you're a licensed architect and engineer in the state of New Jersey?
Yes, I am.
And have you testified before other boards?
Yes, I have.
And Have you been accepted as an expert?
Yes, I have.
And how long have you been licensed?
I've been licensed as a registered architect since 1996.
Okay, and can you just tell the board what other boards you've been recognized as an expert by?
Morristown, Morris Township, Harding, Glen Ridge, Montclair, Newark, East Orange.
That's probably.
Accept your qualifications.
Thank you.
But you can keep going.
Can you review the plans that you've prepared?
Excuse me?
Can you review your plans with the board?
Yes.
You want to start with the rendering first?
Yeah, I'll start with the render.
Are you able to see this?
I'm sorry?
Are you able
We
to
have
see?
not,
Yeah.
Okay.
we've not submitted this, one we marked at A2, I think.
A2, yes.
Take the microphone so you can be recorded,
Thank you.
because we know our secretary.
Oh, boy.
Oh, no, I'm not sure you. Please, sure. You have the microphone right there?
Use the microphone.
Pick up
Use
the
the
microphone, please.
Okay. This is the fitness center. It's basically in style with the existing buildings on the property. Half timber up above in the upper gable. Architectural shingles, hardy shingles, shakes, and then a brick veneer apron with a stone cap wrapping it around. The colors are basically to match the existing buildings on the property. All right, the building itself, its proposed building is 81 feet 8 inches in length.
Can you just identify the, for the record, please? I don't see a marking on it, so.
That should be 8 of 9.
Yeah, it is 8 of 9. It is 8 of 9. See, my computer tells me.
Okay, thank you.
See?
Okay. The building, yeah, once again, it's 81 feet 8 inches in length, 40 feet in width. The first floor is 2,875 square feet. It includes an equipment room, which encompasses the bulk of the first floor. In the back of the space, there's some dressing areas, showers, and bathrooms for both women and men. A little mechanical room, staircase going up to the upper floor mezzanine. The building itself is to be about 29 feet in height. It's fairly similar in height to the existing building that it's going to replace. Second floor, yes, it's a workout room, mezzanine, and it overlooks the equipment room. To the right here is the entrance to the building, and it will receive two, as Rusty Schomer described, two residential lanterns. There's a side entry over here, and that too will also receive one of the residential lanterns. It's historic design. Here's the elevations of the building. This is the front right here.
Just identify it for the
Yeah,
record.
I'm sorry, it should be 9 of 9.
It's 9.
9 of 9 on the plan.
Yes.
Thank you.
Okay. It's, once again, it's the half timber up in the upper gable, shingle style, right below the upper part of the gable. The trim itself will receive AZAC, and it'll be similar color to what you see on the rest of the buildings on the property. Once again, it's 29 feet to the height. It's fairly similar to the existing building.
I'm going to just go through the signage. There's a question raised by one of the experts.
Okay. There's to be a sign added to the front entry right here. And this is what we're proposing for that.
I'm gonna mark this. No, it's not. A3.
And this is the sign.
You just, I don't think you can see the measurements if you could just.
Oh, the sign itself is to be 2 feet 6 inches in height and 5 feet across.
You know, you may want to, the original facade, we had A2, could you just pull that back out?
Sure.
No, it's a color facade.
Oh, okay. Oh.
Could you just let the board know as far as the orientation where that door, as far as where it fronts onto the site?
This front entry, it faces out towards the parking lot. And you can see here's the sign proposed, also facing towards the parking lot.
I don't have any further questions.
Do any board members have any questions?
Yeah, so it's very nice, 2-story building. Do you need an elevator
No,
for handicap accessibility?
we're not proposing one. It's only a mezzanine up above.
Private club, they don't need it.
Private club.
I have a question. You said a lot of people, it's grown a lot and that. We only have one bathroom for the woman, you know, one toilet and all that, and one for the men. I mean, you don't think you might need more than that?
Our expectation is gonna be 5, 6 people at a time that are gonna be in it.
Just wanna make sure.
And is this gonna be open year round?
Oh, yeah. I have no other questions.
Any other questions? Do the professionals have any questions, comments?
I had the comment on the sign, and I think it was important for them to show what the sign is, so I think we all understand. Certainly, in keeping with the overall standard.
Okay. You're excused.
Thank you.
No, our witnesses are complete. If the public has any questions.
I'll open this up to the public. Seeing that there's no public here. Any further comments?
I have no comments.
So now,
Vote,
yeah, no, I did, let's, yeah.
I can see it. Oh, go for it.
Did you have a?
No.
Let's open it, discussing this,
I don't know.
You want to make any closing?
I think it's pretty straightforward.
Vice Chair, I'd like to make a motion to approve application 4201-S, Bolter Golf Course, 201 Shumpike Road, block 1605, lot 1, for preliminary and final site for exercise facility.
I'll second that.
Ms. Grzybowski?
Yes.
Mr. Rosenberg?
Yes.
Mayor Heber?
Yes.
Mr. Barnett?
Yes.
Mr. Brendel?
Yes.
Vice Chair Kessel? Motion passes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's right.
These guys
Have a good night. And thank you for helping baseball get ready. I know you sent people over there. I got called that you guys sent people over there to get ready. I really do appreciate it.
Rocco's.
Okay,
no, that's for.
we have 2 other, I'll welcome myself back. Thank you.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
We missed you.
We have 2 other updates, and I don't see Sam Mardini.
Sam's back in,
Okay, so we'll go with the next one. So there's a construction safety ordinance that was emailed around. I've been notified by the board attorney that given that it's not a land use ordinance, it is a governing body where they'll do it. The ordinance, we're going to take no action. If the board has any comments, please email them to Jen and Sam by Wednesday next week, and then they will consolidate it and send it to the governing body for approval or consideration, action, whatever it might be. Okay, so that's the thing with that. Second thing, where's Mr. Mardini?
Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
And possibly Board Secretary, just on this ordinance, if the Township Committee does, or I should say the mayor, if he decides to put this on the agenda for consideration, and I do believe this is an important ordinance for the township to pass, I'd like for this board to be noticed as to when it's on the Township Committee agenda, in case one of us would like to go down.
Yeah.
It'll be our next meeting.
It'll the next meeting, and then it'll take action 2 weeks later, or 4 weeks later, whatever.
You know, but those agendas sometimes change. And
yeah, that's fine.
It should be on next meeting.
Okay.
Next time.
Or
Noted.
maybe you put it in the letter, just ask them to notify the board.
Yeah. And then
Sure.
you put it in.
Yeah.
Leave her alone. Okay, the last thing.
You got 3 minutes.
Yes, the last thing is Sam gets 4 minutes to kind of update the board on some projects that have been going on in the township. I thought, we just take action on things and then we never hear about it. So I felt it would be the board's good idea for the board to kind of hear from Sam a little bit about it and then ask some questions, and afterwards we'll adjourn. I know you've been here since 6:30, God forbid. Go ahead.
I will take less than 4 minutes, I promise. We have a few projects going on in town.
Speaking to the microphone, sir.
Yes, sir. The biggest one is Wawa.
You didn't get swear in.
Oh, stop it. Wawa is getting close to, they haven't closed on the properties yet. They're buying 7 properties, and there are some issues with environmental cleaning and stuff, but they're also working with the DOT on that new traffic light at Cleveland and Morris Avenue. So that's taking some time.
I mean, that's a traffic light.
Yeah.
I told you that before.
They're not really having issues, just takes time. And the only thing they will be asking the Township Committee, which I'm gonna put on the agenda for the next meeting, is a resolution basically supporting the installation of the traffic light and a couple other changes. So that's coming to you on the 24th. I'm gonna be preparing that Monday and sending it to the Township Committee for consideration.
Is everybody, it looks like there's been nothing done by the time I come home on Chipotle. Chipotle looks like stopped.
Well, they're doing the interior of the building. They're not stopped. They also have some environmental issues that they're dealing with, so they're working on it. The building is almost 100% complete. It's just the site work is not complete yet. And I think Mr. Disco can talk more about Chipotle since he does the inspections on that site. But Wawa is in progress, and I expect if everything goes well, sometime in the fall they will break ground. So it would be nice.
Perfect. But they can't do anything until the traffic light.
Right.
Well, they can. They can on their own risk. They
On their
can.
own risk,
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The next is Chipotle, which I talked about. They're progressing well. There's some site work. Maybe Mr. Disco can elaborate.
Did they find another tenant?
Not yet.
Not yet, so there's no plan.
They have to come
Okay.
to us. Then there is the Bolts Road 4-lot subdivision. The work is in progress. They did the sanitary sewer connections from the main, from Bolts Road Way. They're working now on the storm sewers, and then they're going to be doing they're cutting the road, that small road. They're going to put the curbing, and then they will start applying for building permits. So they are getting close to putting the curbing in. I would assume probably in the next few weeks they're going to finish that and prep the area so that it's stoned road, and then they'll be eligible to apply for the first building permit. Okay. So that's moving slowly, but it's moving. The couple of downtown projects, one of them is Veal, which is the old RICA project. That was approved by you guys, and the Veal is ready to go. They're really ready to start working, but they don't want to close on the properties until all the tenants are out of the 3 buildings. Now, one building is vacant, which is the one on Blacks Lane, but the ones on Church Mall are not vacant, and Mr. Ricca is trying to get the tenants out. Some of them, or probably all of them, don't even have a contract, but it's very hard to get tenants out from the building. So he's hoping that by the end of April. I don't personally see that, but he's hoping by the end of April he'll get the tenants out. Once that happens, then they can close on the properties and start working. The new owners are ready to go.
Well,
Ready.
that'll be built before the other one that was 2 years
Yeah.
ago.
You know, I think I spoke to you about this a while ago. When that goes, and you have the property across the street, I'm proposing Black's Lane one way going out and only right turn on. Because coming into there, with those tenants and then that other building, getting out of that light is gonna be the zoo.
That was one of the, yeah, that was one of the features of the downtown redevelopment plan.
Turn that into one-way
Yeah,
Black's
to
Lane.
make Black's going one way out,
Black's Lane?
or in, whichever direction. In, I guess, right? Because people shoot out that way.
Yeah.
They got cut through, there was one at the meeting.
I know.
Yeah, you can take credit for that, but, you can take credit for that, but it was proposed when I was president.
Well,
You know, you're keeping us here more than your 4 minutes.
I know, Sam, that's like.
Mr.
8
Mardine,
minutes.
please continue.
okay. We are actually in discussion right now with the Department of Transportation for the installation of the bump outs on Morris Avenue so that we can comply with one aspect of that plan that you worked very hard on. And definitely will bring to their attention because whatever you do on Black's Lane will require DOT approval anyway. So,
That's not, but as long as we're not crossing traffic, I was told that we don't have to get.
any
Circulation.
exit into a DOT road, you have to get their approval, absolutely. We have to do a lot of traffic count and all that, and I'm sure Mr. Disco also can fill you on that.
And you have some of that stuff because you did that on behalf of the board before, but, you know, I guess you can review it when the governing body takes that up.
The Nissan project is going forward. They added a new building and a new parking lot, and they're doing a good job. They're open, they're operating, and they're working. So, and again, all of these projects are under the jurisdiction of Mr. Disco for inspections, and he's done a great job.
Any further applications coming in the foreseen future?
I don't have anything. No, we don't have anything. The only last one I want to touch base on is the main downtown project, which is the 4.5 story building, and that building has been vacant for some time. We pushed the owner of the property to vacate that building so we can knock it down. Unfortunately, we run into this problem with the telephone poles, with the high tension wires running right parallel to the building, and they can't raise the building, they can't demolish the building until they move those telephone poles away. So we've been working with JCP&L.
Do we know when that'll be?
Hmm?
Do we know when that will be?
I'm working on that. It's hard. It's a lot of work. We had to go actually meet with the DOT twice because, there's OSHA requirements and there's all kind of other jurisdiction that the DOT has that we have to,
Who owns
work
the
with.
poles, Verizon or JCP&L?
Verizon. Verizon owns the pole, but JCP&L and Comcast and all other utilities are on those poles. So we came up with a solution with JCP&L to relocate some of the poles, and I am meeting next week with the developer and Verizon to figure out how we're gonna make the JCP&L plan work. Once we get that done in the next few weeks, then we'll be able to get that building demolished. So hopefully by the end of summer, we'll have that building demolished. That's my hope. And then we go from there.
Perfect. Mr. Disco, anything to add? No? Mr. Bob Michaels, anything to add? You haven't said, so.
I have nothing to add.
Nothing to add, okay. So thank you, Mr. Mardini.
Thank you.
Every couple months, we'll have you kind of update the board whenever you see fit.
Yeah, that's nice.
Perfect.
Thanks,
Can
Sam.
I entertain a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Anyone opposed?
Opposed.
He wants to stay longer.
You've been here since 6:30. Here, Jen.
Jen,
Clarity.
do I need to sign this?